Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support community TV and the Dukes of Sports. Some of the refreshing and satisfying products offered by Coca-Cola are Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Sprite, Fanta, Dr. Pepper, Moxie, Dasani Water, Powerade, Minute Maid Juices, Vitamin Water, Fuse, V8, and Honest Tea. 125 years and still teaching the world to sing.
Kinlan Grover Real Estate sells and lists more property than any other real estate company on Cape Cod and is pleased to support community television and the Dukes of Sports. With 15 offices from the Canal to Provincetown, our experienced and professional agents get the job done whether you are buying or selling. We also offer summer vacation rentals and can assist in mortgage financing, serving the most buyers and sellers across the entire Cape. Check us out at kinlangrover.com.
Heritage Floor Covering located in Heritage Park off Route 130 Sandwich. When you look down, we look good. Carpet, vinyl, tile, and laminates, sales, service, and installation. 40 years of experience. Browse our spacious and extensive showroom. Cheryl and Russell are fully insured and offer free estimates. We sell the best and you pay less. 508-833-7600.
Welcome to the Dukes of Sports. I'm Randy Lively with
Andrew Eaton.
Dan Bell.
Yeah, we have a guest this week. So the time will go even faster.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. Glad you're with us. Hopefully you're going to stay with us for the next hour. Well, there's a football game coming up Sunday.
There is.
Yeah.
It's only a little bit of a big deal, though, right? I mean,
yeah.
you want to start with the football?
It's
We'll dive
we don't
in.
have to.
Okay. Well, I'll even.
Tiger Woods didn't win last weekend.
Yeah. Well, there was even a game last night
Yeah, I forgot about it.
where the AFC and NFC scored a combined 100 points.
What was the final score?
59-41. AFC won.
Maybe I should have watched it.
Well, I was saying to Dan, why do they bother put defensive players out there?
I don't know.
They might as well just have an offensive showcase.
It pretty much is, and even Ray Lewis was kind of joking about that. You know, I caught bits and pieces of it, but what I did find out that I thought was interesting is the winning team, every player gets $50,000, and the losing team, every player gets $25,000.
Huh.
So I don't know why people wouldn't play in it. But
Well, it depends what your contract
yeah,
is.
yes,
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
I mean, 50,000 to most of those guys are probably
Yeah, and I
nothing.
bet you
but-
they don't have to pay to get there, and I bet you
Oh,
they
no.
ain't paying for their meals while they're there.
No,
either.
they're not paying for anything. It's
So it's a nice
crazy.
vacation.
It is. But yes, so
Yeah, in the NHL game, only they scored 21 goals.
combined?
Yes.
What, in the
Good
All-Star
God.
game?
Yeah, that's what I was
Charles.
What's the final score on that?
12-9. Tim Thomas, fourth year in a row with the winning goaltender. Again.
And
they might
Char
as well
scored
not
the
even-
winning goal too, didn't
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he did a rush right up the center of the ice. But
I saw he broke the record again.
he? Did. He's
Oh,
at 108.
slap shot?
108.
Yeah, hardest shot or fastest.
Yeah, and it was just broken, a week or two before that at like 107.6 or something. It was only a little bit faster, but he's the record holder again.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I just think we've probably said about all we need to say about. Well, Tyler Saquon sang a song in between periods.
Oh, that's who?
Tyler's that country guy?
Ah, he's the Bruins' leading scorer. Where have you guys been?
Oh, is he the little ball of hate? Is that what
No,
President Obama?
that's Brad Marchand.
Oh, that's okay. That makes sense.
Saquon's like a 20-year-old. This is his second full season.
And he sang a song?
Don't ask me why. I just saw it on ESPN.
Well, good for him.
I'm trying to save some money on talent.
You know, right? I mean, why not? It's what was it? Theo Epstein was in a band when he was here.
Well, Obama was singing couple of weeks ago, wasn't
Oh
it?
yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I
saw
follow
that.
politics
Was it
about as
wife-
closely as they follow
I think it
hockey.
was because of his wife's birthday or something.
Oh, we start talking politics.
Oh,
you're
jeez.
click, click, click.
Oh,
But,
I didn't want to get going on that. But
So you know, we mentioned at the last episode that Randy and a friend of mine and worker here at Sandwich Community Television were kind of going at it about the Giants and the Patriots. And this is Dan.
You guys
this
talked
is
about that
this
on
is
there?
the guy. Oh, you didn't see our show? See, he doesn't even watch our show.
I got halfway through. I still want to finish that one.
So yes, the Patriots and the Giants are in the Super Bowl again. We did touch on this a little bit last week.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a revenge thing.
a little.
Just a little. But there's one major difference that I think everyone is noticing, and that is Tom Brady was interviewed before the 07 game, or 08 Super Bowl, but 07 season, because someone on the Giants defense said the Patriots are only going to score 17 points. Of course, their average was just over 36 points that season. So Brady laughed, like just guffawed at at the thought of only scoring 17 points. Of course, it turned out they only scored 14, and the Giants only scored 17. But you're not going to see that this season. And the Giants said that was a huge motivation to get after Brady. But now I want to hear a little bit of this, because Dan was originally a Giants fan.
Still am.
Still is a Giants fan. He likes
Still
the Giants
hold a spot in my heart.
and the Patriots.
And the
You like them
Patriots.
both.
That's
You
why I
have
have
to
Belichick
say
and
this. But
New York represented.
Yeah.
You have New York, and you're wearing the cut-off sleeveless hoodie.
Yeah.
Did you hear Belichick's comment yesterday? Because they got interviewed once they landed in Indianapolis.
Oh, when he was asked how he feels about coming into Indianapolis and how he's being treated?
Or how the people felt about him. And it actually was pretty good, because he said since he went for it on 4th and 2, people like him a lot more than...
Yeah, I liked that comment. That was good.
Yeah, it was pretty boneheaded.
I always
play,
thought
too.
Falk got
Yeah.
a bad spot on that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He definitely did. It was a bad spot, but it wasn't the best call, and frankly, it wasn't Belichick's call. It was Brady's call, because there was another receiver. It might have been Brown was still playing at that time. Troy Brown, possibly, was like a yard and a half to 2 yards ahead of. It was Falk who got the ball.
Yeah.
And he could have caught the ball. He was in coverage, but I think he could have caught the ball, and he didn't throw to him. And it was, that would have been the first down. It would have been a whole different ball game at that
Well,
point.
I love it when they've got these short down and distance, like 3rd and 3, and they throw a 1-yard pass.
Yeah.
What the,
Or they try to run right
and
up
the
the
guy's
middle.
covered. They throw a 1-yard pass to a guy
Guy's
who's covered.
Right.
It's jeez. You don't have anything better in the playbook than that.
It's silly. But
So, anyways. Once
so
again, we digress.
we digress. That's what we do here, though.
Do it
So
well.
I guess I'll try and moderate this, but so Giants Patriots rematch from 4 years ago. The outcomes of the regular season was a little different at this point in time. The Patriots were undefeated, of course, in the regular season 4 years ago. Now they're 13-3 in the regular season. They squeaked past Baltimore to make it to the Super Bowl. Then it was the Giants were.
Well, you could say, they did squeak past Baltimore, but
The Giants
without
squeaked
the
past
Giants punt returner, the Giants wouldn't be in this game
The
either.
Niners
so,
punt returner.
Yeah, Niners punt returner.
It's true. They both got fortunate in their
Big time.
in some of those plays to get into the Super Bowl, which was not the case 4 years ago. They both just killed pretty much everyone they faced in the playoffs, and got in pretty easily. So, thoughts. Let's start with you, Dan.
Well,
as the
here's
guest.
here's
Who's
my
gonna
question.
win
Here's
this
my
game?
question: Are the Patriots playing the best football of the season right now?
Neither one is.
Based on what? Based on the conference game?
All right. Let's see. What would have been the Patriots' best game this year?
Against Denver 2 weeks ago.
So then they are pretty close to playing.
They're close to playing their best football.
I think the Giants definitely are. The Giants are playing better than they have all year.
Well, they started
But,
6-2, didn't they? I mean, it was.
Well,
The Giants.
The Giants always do that. They start off fast,
Right.
then they have a period where they can't get out of a wet paper bag, and then they end up around 500. And then if they're going to do it, they make a run later on. And
Well, I look at it like.
I mean, I don't think they should be happy about
think-
that game against the 49ers.
I think they'd be a little bit happier about that than getting in on somebody's error.
They did.
They did.
took the punt return
But they recovered it, and they
errors.
also caused the turnover.
Oh, please. He wasn't going after the ball.
God.
The rookie just dropped
Come
the
on,
ball.
somebody's got to make it happen.
Oh, come
No.
on. Yeah.
It was a
yeah.
rookie
And you
that
know,
made it
who
happen.
you know who caused the mistake in the Patriots game was Myra Kraft. So
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
if you want to get into it, that's just.
No, the Patriots-
Or the scoreboard operator. Because I don't know if you heard about this. But,
Oh yes, I
but,
did hear about that.
Supposedly, Cundiff,
Yeah.
whatever his name is, missed the field goal because he was rushed because he thought it was third down and not fourth down. But Baltimore had a timeout. So if anyone caused it, the coach.
The coach even said that was bullshit.
Yeah.
He was grasping at straws. I mean, he missed that kick.
No, the
bad.
reason the Patriots are in is because of that defensive back. I don't even know his
Sterling
name.
Moore.
He stripped that guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now this kick that was, the guy missed, that was only going to put it in OT.
Right.
So
So the Patriots would have won anyway.
And they would have won in overtime. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be
Well, yeah,
honest,
all right,
Dan.
you know that.
Come
You
on
know
now. But no, what people aren't even mentioning about Sterling Moore is he made the next play too, because that was a second down play when he stripped that ball in the end zone. The next one, he slapped another pass down and caused it to
did
go
he?
incomplete.
Yeah, that was a lousy pass. It wasn't even close.
But he slapped it down regardless.
Well, that's after he danced with the receiver. I mean, if that pass had been
that's
better,
the one you thought was
he
pass
could have been called for
interference.
pass interference, but
Eh.
but it was such a lousy pass. I mean,
Right.
He threw it to his feet.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
the play before against Evans in the end zone, definitely
Yeah.
somebody at least used their head up, because nothing aggravates me more when I see cornerbacks or safeties covering somebody down the field, and they've got their back to the ball, but the receiver is turning around doing this. Well, don't you think at that point that might be a clue that the ball's in the air coming that way, and maybe they should turn around? But you watch, seldom do they.
Yeah.
So they're doing, one of these little things, and usually the guy will often it's a completed pass because they're not in position
Well,
to do anything.
a perfect-
But you're getting back to what you were talking about. Who's
Earned it and who got
well,
lucky?
I think they both got
got
lucky. But so who do you think is maybe most at the top of the game? I think that's what Andrew was trying to get at.
I definitely say that the
think the
Giants
Giants.
are playing better right now than they have all year. There's been a couple points during the season that I was like, Giants aren't even going to make it to playoffs.
They shouldn't have. I mean, they just all of a sudden
they got blown out in New Orleans on a Monday night. You're not even in our league.
Yeah, but
All
they went toe to toe, touchdown to touchdown to Green Bay in the regular season too. So
They did. But they're playing.
They had really good games. They had really bad games. The thing about it is, I don't think they deserved to be in the playoffs to begin. And I said this a couple weeks ago.
They're 9-7.
When 9-7's barely playoff material. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Better than Denver.
It's better than Denver, and that just it bothers me. And I think that they need to restructure it a little bit, so that you can't have
can't
these
get in.
500
Well, look at
teams
basketball.
getting in.
You don't even have to be 500 to make the playoffs.
But at least
Wasn't there a
it's
team
the
last
top.
year with a losing record?
Oh
Seattle.
yeah, the Eastern.
Seattle made it
Yeah.
in last year, 7-9.
7-9.
Yeah, they were 7. Oh, you mean in football? Yeah,
Yeah.
last year.
But-
And then they beat the defending
Then
champs
beat the
and the Saints in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Any given Sunday.
really, it just I think they need to restructure it though, because like in hockey, basketball, and I think baseball needs to restructure a little bit too. They don't
are, they're
have,
adding it
and
to
they
it.
are, and I don't like that.
Well, they are.
I don't like the 1-game playoff thing. That's stupid. But
162 games, and then it
that comes in, yeah.
let's have a 1 game. That's like in the NCAA's.
Huh.
They keep expanding and expanding, and you got East Podunk against Oshkosh State for a 1-game playoff to get into
right.
the tournament for the privilege of getting their asses handed to them by the #1 ranked team in the country. I mean, really. But see, it's on TV.
But it gets viewers.
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess. Well, I mean, I won't even go into the NCAA and what they need to do. But going back to this, the Giants had to win 3 straight games against okay teams. I mean, it was the Cowboys. I just look at that whole division, and it was like, everyone's like, oh, it's the elite NFC division, and they have such a harder schedule because they play each other.
Philly was going to walk away with it.
Oh, in the preseason for sure. I thought that. I thought it was going to be a rematch of the Patriots and Philly.
But it just goes to show. I mean, that division was pretty much overrated by the so-called high-money pundits.
Yeah, but again, I look at it, and the Cowboys were terrible. I mean, Tony Romo's awful. They need to get rid of him. The Redskins, what did the Redskins do? They played a couple good games, and everyone said, "Oh, they're a great team. Look how well they're playing."
The 3rd week.
They were the last team to beat the Giants.
Yeah, and they beat the Giants.
And they're not that good.
But then you look at the Giants, and they're like, well, obviously the Giants deserve to be here. And yes, they deserve to be there because they beat who they needed to in the playoffs. Yeah. And that's what matters, is the playoffs. But as I stated when they were playing Atlanta, I didn't think either one of those teams, the way they had been playing on an average all season, deserved to even make the playoffs. But they did. They played well. They beat Green Bay. They beat 49ers, which are the #1 and 2 seeds in the NFC, which is very impressive, not to take away from the Giants. And maybe they are playing the best football of the season, but look at the way the Patriots defense just absolutely destroyed the Baltimore offense, and they really did. They
did a great job.
They did it phenomenal.
Rice. They made Rice basically a non-factor. I think he had one 12-yard run, and that was it. I mean,
and then they say that, Joe Flacco played the best game of his career in that game. And really, he might have, but that's not saying much. I mean, what did he do previously?
He's won a Super Bowl.
And this is Joe Flacco?
Yeah. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. He wasn't the quarterback.
It was when Baltimore won. It was Trent Dilfer.
No. Flacco's only been in the league 3 years.
Oh. Or no, maybe 4. But
maybe
you're
4.
You're right.
But he's been in the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
That's.
Well, I think that's more Harbaugh and Ray Rice, really. But this is where the big difference is the Patriots defense played terribly all season, and they're playing better. Brady sucked. If Brady didn't suck against, and that's his words. If he had played better against Baltimore, it wouldn't have been as close as it was. It would have been a blowout, and everyone would be talking about how the Patriots are just going to stomp all over the Giants. And the fact of the matter is, it all depends on the last game, and he did play terribly. If he plays as bad as he did against Baltimore, the Giants have a very good chance of winning that game. I don't think he will.
Well, I watched. I got a chance to see the first game that replayed this week on.
The first game of the regular season. Okay.
And Brady played shitty in that game. Oops, sorry.
It's all right. He did one too. We'll censor this. It's
we don't censor.
It's
not I know. All right.
Anyways, let's not make a big deal about it. The kids have wondered what happened.
We got to make Danny apologize now, just like ESPN did.
Sorry, folks.
No.
Anyways,
yes,
he played terrible. I mean, there was and it wasn't just him. There was a couple. And you were brought up the point about the pass interference where a guy is looking to try and find the ball, not looking at it, and he gets flagged. And that happened late in the game with the safety running over to defend, and they put the Giants on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
So
that didn't happen. The
they were
game's over,
trying
too.
they were trying to get that game into OT because Giants were down by 3. It was third and goal. They played run, and Eli pulled a play action on him and threw it in the corner.
Yeah.
But final
Eli
score of
had-
that game, that was a low scoring game. It was
24-20?
24-20, something like that. But
I think it was
they didn't
24-20.
score 30. And the thing is, the first half was terrible. Second half, they started getting Gronkowski in.
Yeah.
And
I don't even think Hernandez played that game, did he?
I don't know.
I don't think. I think he was injured that
There was,
game.
he missed
He missed a couple games
Yeah.
in mid-season.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. But now it's different. The Giants are playing better than they were then.
Well,
And
the defense certainly is. And as much as I dislike Eli, I do have to give him credit. He's cut way down on the interceptions this year. And he's played well.
Yeah.
But I think the Giants' running game isn't up to what it has been in other years.
Yeah.
You got the same personnel there, but
Well,
they don't seem to.
That guy broke his foot this year, that Bradshaw. And
But
I mean, he's
Jacobs is-
recovered, but it's still
Yeah.
healing.
But Jacobs is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, that guy
He
just
can be,
powers
yeah.
through anybody. Well, yeah, I
But
mean, on a
it's
good
like
day.
you just don't know from game to game what he's going to do.
No.
He could be lights out.
He's not as good as he
Right.
was in
Or
the
he-
Super Bowl
He,
year.
he is.
Or
He's very inconsistent. And I think Bradshaw is too.
Plus, doesn't
and-
Jacobs have a little trouble keeping his hands on the ball?
No, Bradshaw does.
Is it Bradshaw? I
think.
thought it was Jacobs that was fumbling.
I'm not sure. I'd have
Well,
to look up the stats.
yeah.
But regardless, I mean, neither one of these teams has what the pundits would call an elite running game. I mean, because the Patriots don't use the run much. I mean, really, I think the law firm there could be
I think-
an elite running back if they gave him the ball more.
Like I say, I think it's another stat that is diminished.
Diminished?
Diminished. That's whatever. We have some other delicious diet Coke from one of our
Yes.
great
no,
sponsors. But he gained 1,000 last year, which
Yeah.
I think 1,000 is no big deal. I mean, that's like
in
60-something
this-
yards a game to get 1,000 yards these days. But nevertheless, he did.
Yeah. I think he did this season.
But
too,
I
didn't
think,
he?
no,
No.
not even close.
All right.
But I think the Patriots have the potential to have a better running game than we usually see, only because they defer to the pass more often, the short passing game.
Right.
But I think, except it seems that crunch time when they need to run out the clock, they can't do
No,
it.
they throw a 60-yard pass instead
Well,
and get intercepted. No, I'm sorry, that play really still bothers me.
That
but
was earlier on.
that wasn't that early on. That was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but
with
they
like,
had the ball back after that, and they still couldn't run it.
well, yeah, no, I understand, but they still could have taken 4 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
If they really would wanted to, because between the three running backs that are their go-to running backs, and granted one of them was injured last week, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Stephen Ridley, and why am I drawing a blank on the third one there?
Fuck.
Woodhead, thank you. They can get 3-4 yards every play if they want to. Usually. I mean, sure, they get stopped every now and again.
Green Ellis a lot of credit. I mean, I don't know how big he is. I mean, I know Ridley is, what's his name? Woodhead is short.
Woodhead's like 5'7".
But he's got a solid build to him. But
Yeah.
Green Ellis, I mean, he's not afraid to run it right up the middle.
No,
And,
and
He
that's
goes
where
north
he's
and
best.
south, definitely.
yeah.
That's where Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
He had the best play in the game.
But
His touchdown run, I thought.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
That was like,
But I
I'm
think
taking it in.
the Patriots at their best are better than the Giants at their best.
Agreed.
And the Patriots have Myra Kraft. Ergo, Patriots win.
And even if you don't believe in
Well-
the whole spiritual thing and that she's looking down on us and everything, really they're playing for her. They're playing for Robert Kraft, and they want to get him another title. And what better way than
Shoving it up the Giants' ass.
well, yeah, absolutely. But I was gonna say the season following
Just
whole
fill in the
section
blanks
yeah.
conversation.
And I gotta be honest. I'm hearing Robert Kraft get up there and talk, and I don't know if you've listened to any of his interviews or when he gets up in front of the crowd and everything, but he sounds like he's losing it.
What do you mean? Like he's going mental?
Like he's like
He's just
early
getting older.
onset
He's just
Alzheimer's.
getting older.
Maybe it's just age. He sounds drunk. He's slurring his words, and it makes me nervous. I'm not trying to bash on the
the
guy.
volume on your set.
No. He listen to him. Listen to him the next chance you get. He doesn't sound good. I don't know how much longer he's going to be around, and I don't mean he's going to die necessarily, but I don't think he's going to be able to run the team anymore. And his kids aren't doing anything, and it just makes me a little nervous.
His kids aren't doing anything. His son has been with him for years. He sits right next to him all the time, holding his hand.
15-year-old son or whatever he is.
Kraft,
kid?
Kraft doesn't have any 15-year-old. He might have a 15-year-old grandson.
Maybe it's a grandson.
Jonathan
then, but-
Kraft. What have you,
Yeah,
What's he done?
He's
What do you
something.
mean, where's
He's
he
a
done? He worked with
manager
his-
or something.
he works with
Booking
his
the
father.
plane trips.
Yeah, that maybe, but I don't know if he can run the team. Can he run the team? Would you trust
He's
him to
been
run
involved.
the team?
He's been involved with his old man for years.
All right. Well, then I guess I
They're
just
always
haven't
next to
paid
each
that
other in
close
a
of
luxury
attention.
box.
I saw.
15 years.
All right. Well, we got to talk more about.
We got
the
to
game.
talk more
What
about the game.
What about matchups?
I don't like
How did the
individual
Giants
matchups.
secondary match up against the
Well-
receivers for the Patriots?
Well, we tried to do this last week, and it's so hard to do because you don't know who's going to cover who. You don't. There's too many variables.
They're going
with
to
that.
play. The Patriots
you-
are going to play zone. They're not going to have to worry about isolation.
Well,
Yeah,
here.
they still got to double.
Yeah.
You got to pay a lot of attention to Cruz and Nix.
Yes.
Giants got to pay a lot of attention to Welker and Gronkowski.
And Hernandez.
You do well. You can't. I
And
don't think they
Brash.
can put enough
And Ocho Cinco.
guys. That's it. Ocho Cinco. He could be what
I
Belichick's
think
just been saving him
that
all.
that has been
year.
my theory
And he's
this
going
whole
to
week.
unleash him.
Oh my gosh!
in the Super Bowl.
I'm thinking he's going to get 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to cover him. The Giants are going to look at him.
He's
He
gonna
hasn't
have
done
single
anything all
coverage.
season.
He'll be the last person they even think that can hurt them.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect spot.
It really is.
To exploit that.
Especially
but, I mean,
with
you
the
could double
receiver
team Gronkowski. Great, go for it. Hernandez will be open instead. Then.
Yep.
I mean, I think the Patriots have a little bit of an advantage in what their receivers can do in the number of them over the Giants. Now, are the Patriots cornerbacks on a par with the Giants cornerbacks in safeties? Maybe not.
Probably.
But I think the Patriots got more of a threat with their receivers than the Giants do. So I'd give the edge to the Patriots.
I
do
think
you
in
think?
What you give the edge to the Patriots in the
In passing
every
game.
passing
category.
game?
Yeah. And the run.
Well, I can tell you this. From watching that first game, they had problems in the beginning getting the balls to the tight ends because the linebackers of the Giants had great coverage on the tight ends. And if
I got to see if Hernandez was
if
playing
they
that
are
game, 'cause I don't
not
think he was.
if they're not able to keep the Giants front four off Brady, all right. So now you're looking at quick 2 drop passes or slants over the middle, just something quick because there's not enough time. So in that regard, you're looking at the wide receivers. You're looking at quick outs and things like that. So I don't know. I'm thinking that if the Patriots scheme so that they give Brady time, then fine. Everything will be
Yeah, well,
hunky-dory.
they certainly
But
gotta
if not,
play, they got to play better than they did the last Super Bowl because those Giants front four were in the backfield shaking hands with Brady.
well, you tell you the truth, I think that this Super Bowl is more important to New England than the last one they played against the Giants. Because if the Giants beat them again,
Oh God.
Brady's going to be sending
Yeah.
Father's Day cards to Justin Tuck for
Yeah.
the rest of his life.
Yeah, but I mean, I think both teams obviously want it a lot, as well they should. But yeah, that offensive line has got to do a better job.
Yeah.
I mean, no question. So if the Giants are going to stack the line of scrimmage, you know, preventing those short to even mid-range passes, you know, they need to give Brady the time to be able to get the ball down the field, to soften them up, to get them to play a little more honest. And as I preached before, if nothing else, maybe get a pass interference call, even if you
Yeah.
don't complete the ball.
Yeah.
But I'm a firm believer that at least a handful of times a game, you got to go deep, whether you complete it or not.
I think that's what Brady was thinking on that pick in the Raven game.
I think he was
Yeah.
looking for a quick
You know, it's like, I
strike.
got to do this. You
But-
know,
but
I mean,
he-
even if it doesn't hit, at least stretch him. It's
But-
like,
yeah,
But it was
well,
a bad throw, and I
Yeah, I mean, it was as well covered as you're going to find. I mean, he turned
And
out
they
he was
were
double
up.
covered, and
they were up by 3 at that point in time. I mean, it didn't end up mattering because that was the final score. I don't think anything happened after that. But you know, just run the clock out. You're up by 3. You
That's
got
what I
6
thought. I
minutes
thought
left.
they
Just
should have,
run,
like,
run. Just
you know, let's take time off the clock.
I mean, and even
Well,
if
you know-
even if they get 2 first downs and then they have to punt it, at least they're going to be within their 20. The guy got it on their 40-yard line
Yeah,
or something like
yeah.
that. I mean, it was a
but you know,
a
if that
bad
had
call.
turned out to be an incomplete pass, you would have thought, oh, it was worth a shot.
I disagree. As soon as he threw it in the air, I said, "What are you doing?" Now, if he had completed it, I would have bit my tongue and said, "Okay, well, Belichick knows best." I admit that, but no, I think it was a bad call.
See, when I first
just
saw
hands
him
down.
heaving it, I was like, oh, somebody's wide open. And, you know, I was like, I didn't think he would throw deep
well-
into double coverage. You know.
Yeah, but he did. Yeah.
yeah, I was
The thing
screaming.
is,
at
though,
TV
when
at that.
when he, you know, you launch something like that, it might not have looked like double coverage. You know, he might have.
well,
Well,
it was
where-
in the air long enough, the second guy could have come in.
Yeah,
really
the safety,
easy,
I'm
but-
sure, came in. But, you know, I mean, that's part of his job is to recognize where that safety is, too. You know, can he make a play on a ball? And the answer
What was it?
obviously
Reed?
yes.
Was that Reed? Was that back
I
there?
think Reed is the one
Probably.
who picked it. But
God, I
I
can't
don't
remember.
remember.
No, I don't think it was Reed that picked it up. But, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter. It was a poor decision. I don't begrudge him from trying to make a quick strike.
Yeah.
Maybe nail the coffin shut right then and there.
right.
It's just his decision
Yeah.
as to whether to try to complete that pass. I mean, if that was the only option, then you throw it so nobody's going to catch it.
Yeah.
And he did. You know, he made a Mark Sanchez mistake.
See, where I think there could be a big difference in this game is that, you know, everybody's talking about the giant front four and how they can get pressure. I think they might be surprised at the pressure the Patriots can get. Because Patriots, you know, all year have been heard that they're the worst defense in the league, worst defense in the playoffs. The problem is that the Patriots play a style of defense that gives up yards. You know, they let you go down the field, and then
Well, I don't think they let you because they want to.
what they play,
Their
they,
pass defense isn't all that great.
and the style of defense that they play gives them the stuff that's underneath,
But
and they wait for you to
But
make
you're
a
right.
mistake.
I mean, Woolfolk, if Woolfolk plays like he did last week,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that might be the best game that guy's ever played. I mean, he was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, not only clogging up the middle, but, you know, he was after Flacco. I mean, it was like, wow, you know.
Smith was the one who made that pick.
Oh, was it?
Jay Smith, I don't know.
But, and then you got Anderson, but I really think, I mean, you give a mediocre quarterback time, they're going to hurt you eventually.
But I don't-
Eli is better than mediocre.
But his
So they-
front
they-
line is not.
But
They're mediocre.
No, but I'd like to see pretty much a 5-man pass rush. Send a linebacker. I don't care which one,
Yeah.
just, you know,
But I don't agree with that necessarily because I don't think they're going to be running as much. I don't, it'd be nice to rattle Eli, but like you said, he's not a mediocre quarterback. He's better than mediocre. And he can throw deep, even if it's not a great throw. And a lot of times his deep passes aren't. He's got great receivers.
Yep.
And that's where we got killed with Joe Flacco last week, too. And that's how Joe Flacco had the best game, was because he had 3 or 4 real deep passes.
oh, that's what Tim Tebow did to the Steelers
Right.
over and over and over again. They
Well, the
just never-
Steelers' secondary was
Well-
not the healthiest either.
But they had
But-
everybody up at the line of scrimmage
But
to
who
stop him from
do you
running.
think is better, quarterback-wise, and then looking at the receivers? The Baltimore Ravens or the New York Giants?
You know,
The
Giants,
the
of course.
Giants are better. So especially when you're
Well,
looking at
that's
the deep
why I
threat.
say you got to rush 5. You're sacrificing one linebacker. That linebacker ain't covering nobody deep.
No, you don't. Well, no. But if we
Giants have
everyone,
good tight end and what's his name?
what is his name? I can never remember his
85.
name.
I don't know his
They
name.
don't use
Begins
him a
with a
whole
B.
lot, though.
Yeah,
But,
he's underrated. He
yeah.
is. He's not Gronkowski. He's not
No.
Hernandez. He's not Jimmy Graham. I mean, he's not. I wouldn't call him an elite tight end, since that seems to be the title that everyone is giving everyone now is elite. Who's elite?
It's
and
coming
who's
out of
not?
New York because you can't spell
Is that what
elite without Eli.
Wow.
I need a bar.
All right, I gotta go, guys. All right, we gotta
no,
wrap
you're
it
not
up.
leaving.
No, we
I
still
gotta-
we still
I
have
gotta
some
do
time.
my stuff.
But if you have to take off,
Well,
Dan, I understand.
we got to close with something here, or at least I do, my portion.
All right, so just
So
close
what
with-
do you think?
We
You
don't
think this
give
is
out-
going deep into the fourth quarter, or do you think it's over before the fourth starts?
No, I can't. I don't think you can count either one of these teams out once the fourth quarter, regardless of the score. Honestly, if the Giants are up by 2 touchdowns, you still can't count the Patriots out. And if it's the other way around, you can't count the Giants out. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to come down to the defense. And if the Patriots defense plays as well as they did against Baltimore, they win.
All right, I'm not going to give you a score.
I'm terrible at giving
I'm
scores.
just going to
so.
tell you how much Patriots are going to win by.
All right.
10.
Okay.
So you think 2 scores?
That's
yeah?
bold. That's
I don't know. I think it goes into the fourth, and then I think the Patriots just have too much firepower. I do. I don't think that the Giants are going to be able to keep up. The,
So
the
you're-
Patriots are going to score 30.
Wait. You're wearing your Giants sweatshirt.
I'm
and
telling
you're
it like
picking
it
the
is.
Patriots to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. But, I think,
Also, here's the other thing. People say, it doesn't. The season doesn't mean anything now. We're in the postseason, but the Giants have been inconsistent.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm sorry. You don't get blown out in a season and then somehow win the Super Bowl. And the Giants did get blown out in New Orleans.
right, but they've been consistent the last several weeks, and I think you find a similar pattern to how they were in 07.
Yeah.
But
you
but
don't-
I still think, as I said earlier, the Patriots at their best are better than the Giants at their best. So I'm going to give both teams credit that they will be playing at their best or pretty close to it. And
I hope so.
But I still think, even though the game goes into the fourth quarter, I still think what happens early is going to be important.
Oh, absolutely. I called this before the game even started. This was it the Saints or was it last season? It was one of the last 2 Super Bowls. It must have been last season. And I said, whoever is losing going into the fourth quarter, this is before the game started, is going to win the Super Bowl. And if I'm not mistaken, if it was last year, the Steelers were up, not by much, and it was like 1st and goal or something like that at the start of the fourth quarter, and Green Bay ended up taking the lead, first play of the fourth quarter, or however it ended up working out. And they did end up winning. I think it might be similar. I don't know necessarily that whoever's losing going into the fourth quarter is going to necessarily win. But again,
Well,
it's going to be
that's
close.
what you call on hedging your bets.
Oh yeah.
So you pretty much said the team going in,
Last
losing
season.
into the
What
fourth
I'm saying,
quarter
last season.
might win, or the team that's ahead going into the fourth
Last
quarter
season,
could
I
win.
said the team who is losing
He really
going
goes out
into
on
the
a
fourth
limb, doesn't he? Huh?
goes into the fourth quarter will win the game last season. I was correct. I'm not doing that this season, is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
because it's too risky. I don't think that's going to be the case necessarily. So
God hates a coward. Come on, we need a pick here.
Well, here
Oh,
I think the
I'm gonna
Patriots
leave
are
it-
going to win.
I'm going to leave it on this. I checked this out. In the Belichick and Brady era, they have never lost to the same team twice in one season.
And that's what I was going to bring up.
I gotta go.
All right,
Until
Dan.
they played the
Thank you.
Giants at home, they hadn't lost a home game in a long, long
Yeah.
time either. So, sooner or later, those are gonna go the other way. Hey, thanks, Dan.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Yep.
Nice
So-
to have a guest on
But
the
I
show.
think, sure, to do less talking. But, why I say, I think what happens early is, you heard the expression, setting a tone for the game.
Right.
And then it'll probably come down to the old thing too about halftime. What adjustments do you make? Or, it's a little chess game amongst the coaches at that point. Depending on how things have gone the first half. So I think there's a lot of keys to the game. I don't think there's just one simple thing.
No, and again, that's why I wouldn't make a claim as bold as whoever's losing going. But like Dan said upon his parting, save for their actual division rivals who they play twice in the regular season, they've never played a team once in the regular season and lost, and then lost again in the playoffs. Never in this era have they ever done that, and I don't think they're going to start now. Not to mention, with all the records that Belichick and Brady just seem to like to break, one of the big ones is Joe Montana's the only one who has won 4 Super Bowls, or has he not even won 4? Did he win 3 or 4?
Somebody's won 4.
Then it was Joe Montana. I
Would have
think.
been him or Bradshaw.
Bradshaw
Steelers.
might have actually. That's an interesting. I forgot about him. I always forget about him because he's the Steelers. I hate the Steelers. but a lot of the sports radio this morning, I was hearing a lot of comparisons of Brady to Montana, which I disagreed with. They actually think Brady may be better than Montana, and I don't know about that. But
He's right there.
there's only been one quarterback that has gone to 5 Super Bowls, and that was John Elway.
Yeah.
So, no, they said Joe Montana is 4-0 in Super Bowls, so he's won 4. So Bradshaw must have only won 3. Maybe he went to 4. Did he lose 1? Bradshaw?
I'm not sure.
Come on, you're supposed to be the
No.
older, wiser one
I
of
am.
the two of
Well,
us.
not necessarily wiser, but older for sure.
But yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean,
it's an interesting.
that was
look at
during the Steel Curtain years. Franco Harris,
No,
Rocky Blyer, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth. I mean, that was
Right.
pretty
Well,
damn
the
good team
Steelers-
on both sides of the ball.
Have won 5 Super Bowls as a team, haven't they?
Okay.
Okay. I'm asking. I'm not positive of that. I
All right.
believe that's what it is. I was talking trash with a Steelers fan. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Yeah.
This is the Patriots' 5th. No, this is Brady's 5th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's their 7th Super Bowl
Yeah,
that they're
the
going
first
to.
2 barely count.
I would say the first one barely counts. I mean, it was the '86 Bears.
Yeah.
How do you compete with the Super Bowl shuffle? But
Well, the one with Parcells too. I mean, they pretty dismal showing.
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second half. The first half they were in it. They were only down by a touchdown, I think, at halftime.
I don't know.
And then Green Bay just ran away with it. I remember watching it, but I was very young at that point in time. I was in like 7th grade, so so I don't remember a lot of it because I think we were more interested in the Celebrity Deathmatch halftime show. It's claymation.
Okay.
That's after your time. You wouldn't understand.
I
But
remember Gumby.
yeah, this is a little more gory than that. But anyway, I looked back at it a couple years back because I couldn't remember what was going on with what happened in that Super Bowl. And if I remember correctly, it was a lot closer than the end score would lead you to believe, because I believe they scored like 21 points in the fourth quarter, something ridiculous. Two touchdowns at least, I think.
Yeah.
And that ended up just being the end of it.
But that was a game where, wasn't it, that the kick returner was the MVP?
I do not
And
know
how
that
often
one
does
at all.
that happen?
I mean, I don't think that's ever happened.
No.
If it did, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was a better game than people would have liked to admit. At least Patriots fans, because they lost. But
Oh, yeah. I don't think it was a good game.
no, it wasn't a good game because they lost
At all.
again. But I don't remember where I was going with that. I don't remember
know,
where
but
either of us were going with that.
Well,
but,
a number of times Brady's been to the Super Bowl.
right. All
and
right.
all that.
Well, in the Brady
I
Belichick
mean,
era,
and really, I mean, they should be undefeated. He should be undefeated in the Super Bowls. I mean,
he should be, but
he's not. So,
and I guess that's another point in favor of the Patriots is the biggest mistake they made in the 07 season, 08 Super Bowl there against the Giants was when they played the Giants last game of the regular season. They should have just rested their starters. It was great that they, and frankly, I think, if the Patriots had rested their starters, the Giants probably would have rested theirs, because they were both in the playoffs already at that point in time. The game really didn't matter. It didn't change any place setting. It didn't replace a home field advantage or anything like that. The game did not matter except for the Patriots' perfect season. If they had done that, then I think they would have won the Super Bowl. Even if they lost, if they still won that game, I think they still would have won the Super Bowl, because Belichick and or the coordinators, or whoever you want to blame, did the exact same things that they did in that game. And the Giants looked at it and said, we're going to change a little bit. Let's try this because this didn't work and this did.
I don't know. I was astonished watching that game at how well the Giants' defensive front four played.
And I think they did it
putting
because
pressure without a blitz, and it wasn't just pressure. I mean, Brady barely had enough time to set up, let alone think about where he might throw the ball. I mean, it was terrible.
They got him out of the pocket more often than not, and he's
and
not
for three
great.
quarters, they couldn't figure that out.
Right.
And but even with all of that, you can make the argument easily that they could have won and perhaps should still have won that game.
Well, David Tyree. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
you want to talk about luck getting into the Super Bowl? Let's talk about luck winning the Super Bowl.
That,
he should have won MVP.
plus the fact that Belichick didn't go for a 40-something yard field goal when he had the chance earlier in the game. And I remember at the time.
Well, it wasn't Vinatieri, right? That was the first.
It was Gronkowski. I think it was his rookie
Gostowski.
year. Yeah, whatever. The Polish field.
Yeah.
But
Well, how many Polish people does it take to win a Super Bowl? At least two.
This year it's going to take two. But yeah, I think he was a rookie. And
So how much faith can you put in a guy like that? He didn't have three Super Bowl wins previously like Vinatieri did.
well, he could have had one if Belichick might have given him a chance.
Agreed. But, you don't know. I don't know that I would have.
It was between 45 and 50 yards. I mean, it wasn't a gimme.
No,
but
it wasn't a gimme.
But it wasn't like it was not within the scope of reality for him to make that either. And it wasn't a 4th and 1 that he went for it on. It was like 4th and 4, something like that.
Right.
And I remember at the time thinking, didn't like it. Didn't like the call at all. And, I mean, even with that, you're talking a tie game.
Yeah.
But, you know, but
Wait,
the
was this?
Patriots
Well, okay, if they had made
they
that
still-
field goal, I see what you're saying.
could have won that game. I mean,
There was a lot
you
of chances
can't
they
fault
could have won.
Rodney Harrison, I don't think, on that pass to Tyree. I mean, he
No,
was
God,
right there.
He had great coverage on him. It was a lucky catch.
Yeah, yeah. And
You throw that ball 1,000 more times, no one's going to catch it.
No,
I mean,
that-
period. It's.
well, not in that same way, that's for sure. But
I don't think it was a.
so. Even with all of that, the Patriots still were in the game.
Yep.
I
I mean, they only lost by 3.
and
So
they
I mean,
got to
there
do a
is-
better job this time around.
They
Even
will.
though they lost to them, I think the Giants' defense is playing better now than
Well,
the first time when they met in the regular season.
absolutely. And I don't think the Giants' defense is necessarily playing that much better. I mean, Dan was making that claim. I don't think the Giants' defense is so much better than they were in that game. And
Well,
I
they
don't.
played well in that
They
game.
played well, but I also think that this defense is not as good as it was 4 years ago.
No, that was pretty special.
You know, and that's a big deal. If they don't get to Brady like they did, the game's over and it's a blowout. And I think it's going to be
Well-
very. I don't know that it's going to be a blowout. It's not going to be a blowout.
Well,
it's not going to be a blowout.
The
but-
Patriots didn't blow them out back in whenever they played, November?
What, 4 years ago?
No, this year.
No, they didn't. They didn't win.
No.
They lost.
So you're saying the Giants' defense
Oh
isn't
no,
as good
no.
now, but it was good enough to beat them.
It was good
That
enough to
game.
beat them because the Patriots defense was terrible. But the Patriots defense is significantly better than it was in that game in the regular season. Okay, significantly might be too strong of a word.
They're better.
They're better. They're not going to give up as many deep plays. They're not going to give up nearly as many rushing yards. They're not, and the biggest thing is,
Well, they almost gave up the tying field goal against the Ravens.
well, they didn't not give up that,
No.
that field goal, but no, it
And
was
they almost gave up
it was the
a touchdown pass.
yes, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And in the red zone this season, they have been one of the best defenses.
Yeah, I think, league-wide, I mean, they give up a lot of yards, but I think in terms of points, they're about in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, they were about 13th or 14th,
Yeah.
I think. And for giving up yards, they were second, I believe, only to the Packers. And the way the Giants played the Packers, if you that's not a reassuring stat. But again, I think the Patriots offense is better than the Giants defense,
Right, but-
and that's what it comes down to.
But didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you'll be more than happy to.
If you are.
The Giants Green Bay game, didn't the Packers receivers drop
Oh God,
an inordinate number of catchable balls?
yes, they did.
So that doesn't help
That-
Rodgers at all.
That doesn't help Rodgers, and it doesn't help the Giants' defense because
Now, do you think? Let's talk about the Patriots receivers, especially Gronkowski and Hernandez. They going to have any Super Bowl jitters?
I don't think so.
I mean, they're talking the talk. It's just another game. We're here on business. Blah blah blah.
Well,
blah,
the
blah.
normal Patriot way.
But it's not just another game.
It's not.
And inside, they know that too.
Yeah, and it is their first.
I mean-
it's
I
a
mean,
lot of the
thank
Patriots'
God,
first Super Bowl.
Thank God there's 2 weeks between that
Yeah,
AFC title game and the Super Bowl. Because if the game was yesterday, I'm not sure you'd have seen Gronkowski out there. Or if he was, I
Wow.
don't think you'd see him at anywhere close to
is he
his
practicing yet? Do you know?
No.
He's still not. Wow.
best. No, he's still wearing a walking boot. But he was walking pretty good when he got off the plane.
Now it was just a sprain though. It wasn't a.
His father is the one who spilled some of the beans.
Right.
A high ankle sprain.
Okay. Let's see if I can see anything, if there's any news on it. But
Not out of the Patriots. You talk to Belichick day to day.
Well, yeah, everyone's Brady's day to day still, and but
But it was Gronkowski's father that said it was a high ankle sprain, and he expects that he'll be able to play because of the 2 weeks in between games.
right now we are closing in on time.
Yeah.
We have a few more minutes, but I do want to talk about something else besides the Super Bowl
Okay.
this week, and that is Peyton Manning. And it was a great question actually on I think it was Mad Dog Radio and Sirius when I was listening on the way into work today, and they asked who.
Yeah, I don't listen to that because I can't afford to have.
It was a Christmas gift.
Oh.
It came in my car, and my parents got me a gift card to Sirius so I could buy a subscription finally.
Okay.
It's great radio. It's very entertaining. But they asked which Manning is going to have a bigger impact. It is going to be in the news more. I forget how they worded it over the next week. And
Well, of course it's got to be Eli.
I don't think so. Have you been hearing what's going on with Peyton?
Well, he's been
He might retire. He
pissing
might go
in
to.
Irsay's pocket.
It's
Well, he ain't going anywhere.
well, if he's not healthy enough to play, he's retiring. Simple as that. But they have until March 8th, I believe it is, to give him an extension. But if they don't know if he's going to be playing, are they going to give him that extension or the $28 million or whatever?
they
The
ha-
option.
yeah.
I'm sorry, not extension, option.
But they owe him like buku bucks.
Well, they paid him $28 million for this season that he didn't even play.
Well, that's neither here nor there. But they owe him a lot of money early in March,
Right.
which is the way his contract is.
Right.
If he's still on the team.
Right.
So they got to decide do they want
They-
to cough up those bucks.
Well,
or
they
not.
fired pretty much the entire coaching staff, including the quarterback's coach that Manning has been with since his rookie season or 2-3 years
well,
in
they
or
fired
something.
the GM and his son who built the team.
Right, fired them, and who's left? And Manning came out and said, "Oh, I'm kind of pissed off about it." And then
Yeah.
Irsay, who's trying to be the next Jerry Jones,
Yeah.
is coming out and doing Twitter contests and
So-
ridiculousness like that. But is he going to be a Colt? Do you think he's going to be a Colt? I mean, they're in Indianapolis for the Super Bowl. And I know Eli will get a lot more press come the weekend, of course, because he's
Time
playing.
to wrap it up.
Okie dokie.
All right,
Thanks,
well-
Mom.
I'll leave you just Peyton Manning ? Do you think he's going to be on the Colts? And if not, assuming he is healthy enough to play and isn't retiring, what team do you think he's going to go to?
Well, as far as whether he's on a Colts or not, I really don't care. If he goes to some other team, it's any team that he can go to pretty much any team he feels like that's willing to pay him.
Well, the teams I've
Which
heard
isn't
in the
everybody.
mix is the Jets, Baltimore, because that's where his quarterback's coach went, and Arizona, because they need a quarterback. They need a veteran quarterback.
Well, a lot of teams need quarterback. I mean, there's very few teams that have anybody that.
Well, anybody
can put up-
compares to Peyton's
Yeah.
numbers. But those are the three that really need a nice veteran arm because the Sanchez and Flacco and whoever the hell is playing in Arizona are worthless. If you were to pick, gun to your head, those three teams, which one do you think would take
Top of my
Peyton?
head. Well, they probably all would. So then it's going to be his choice to where he wants to go.
All right, so you're just not answering
where would
the
he
question.
go? I'd see him going to the Jets.
You see him going to the Jets. When I heard the quarterback's coach went to Baltimore, suddenly Baltimore sounds really good. But I think of those three teams, I think Arizona would be the most likely because he'd be throwing to Fitzgerald, and that would just be
True.
that would be a fun thing. I don't think he's going to be playing for the Colts.
it can't possibly be money. I mean, how much more does he need?
No, it's not about money,
But he ain't going to come cheap.
But he's not going to go back to the Colts if they don't give him this $28 million that he's owed.
No.
So I don't think he's going to play for the Colts. It's going to be interesting over the next couple weeks, next month really, to see what happens. But we are out of time. So for Dukes of Sports, I'm Andrew Eaton.
You who?
I'm Andrew Eaton.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Andrew Reed. All right. Anyways, We'll be back. Boy, wonder here. Same time, same place next week. Check out our great sponsors. Pay attention to them. They're three fine businesses. Hopefully there'll be more. Hey, have fun watching a Super Bowl, and we'll be talking about it next week. Take care, everyone. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod is proud to support community TV and the Dukes of Sports. Some of the refreshing and satisfying products offered by Coca-Cola are Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Sprite, Fanta, Dr. Pepper, Moxie, Dasani Water, Powerade, Minute Maid Juices, Vitamin Water, Fuse, V8, and Honest Tea. 125 years and still teaching the world to sing.
Kinlan Grover Real Estate sells and lists more property than any other real estate company on Cape Cod and is pleased to support community television and the Dukes of Sports. With 15 offices from the Canal to Provincetown, our experienced and professional agents get the job done whether you are buying or selling. We also offer summer vacation rentals and can assist in mortgage financing, serving the most buyers and sellers across the entire Cape. Check us out at kinlangrover.com.
Heritage Floor Covering located in Heritage Park off Route 130 Sandwich. When you look down, we look good. Carpet, vinyl, tile, and laminates, sales, service, and installation. 40 years of experience. Browse our spacious and extensive showroom. Cheryl and Russell are fully insured and offer free estimates. We sell the best and you pay less. 508-833-7600.